Welcome back to the Real Estate 401k show where we have the entire band back together.
Ooh.
Dude, it's been a while since the three of us
It has been a minute.
been in the studio. Ryan Gerdes all the way down at the end, Justin Frederick in the middle, and of course I am your most humble host. Because I'm the most humble guy.
I don't know why I laugh at that all the time.
Mike Weinstein.
Yeah. You need to stop laughing.
All right, you are going to want to text the word young to 623AZ Recon. That's young to 623AZ Recon. Guys, there's so much discussion all the time about what's currently going on in the real estate market, what's happening to interest rates. Are we in a recession? Are we heading into a recession? Do we believe that there is a market crash? And I want to talk about the latter for those that think that, hey, we are headed for a real estate market crash. And I can't say that we might not have a dip. I don't think so. I think we already had it. But you have to really take a look at the full picture of what does the future look like in real estate, not only here in Arizona, Maricopa County, the Phoenix area, but nationwide, and why. And we take a look at so many numbers, but one of the most important numbers and one of the most important factors that I take a look at, one is inventory still low, but we are anticipating in the next 10 years a tremendous influx of young people entering the housing market, which of course is going to lead to a new build boom. And as we talked about a couple of weeks ago, we are seeing the number of permits up significantly in Maricopa County. And I said, builders, I'm not going to say are smarter than us, but they have more resources. They have economists, and they're doing something.
And a lot more foresight, So in response to the recession, I think that we have not seen the end of recession for resale. I think that there's still going to be more people defaulting on loans because they overextended themselves. If you want any insight as to what I'm talking about, listen to any of our last 15 episodes that we've put on our podcast discussing that. But I don't think that we've seen the end of that. I think that a lot of people are having trouble keeping up with their properties. I think that what used to cost. Let's just say you wanted to have your AC tuned up. It used to cost $80. Now it's $150, and all of those things, the costs have gone up, and so a lot of homes are starting to go into disrepair because of that. And on top of that, some people have experienced a little bit of unemployment, there's been the typical things that we see in life, there's death, there's divorce, there's, people getting laid off, people losing jobs, et cetera. So we're going to continue to see some of that because new home builders have been towing the line. So if you tuned in last week, you'll be able to get caught up on some of those numbers. But for sure, they are owning the market share right now. And I see them only trending up because they have done such a good job of getting in front of interest rates, getting in front of quality, getting in front of timing, getting in front of good geographical locations. They seem to be popping up right next to massive plants, TSMC, Meta, Intel, Boeing, Nike, all those different places. It seems like the moment that they do something big or there's a new expansion, there's all of a sudden a brand new community popping up. And so I think that you're going to see some yin and yang in the market on that front. And so all of our investors that are looking for good deals and have the resources to go in, buy a property at a good price, and is not afraid of the interest rate because of the tax advantages and all the other huge advantages that are involved with those types of opportunities, that can go in there and do a quality remodel or just get it up to date, then there's going to be some huge opportunity there.
Yeah, and where I really wanted to go with that point is they have economists and they have a lot of smart people on their team, and the fact that the number of permits, and I don't remember offhand, but it was like 50%. The number of permits have jumped by 50%. And they would, and these permits, I mean, we're talking about minimum of 12-month, build time just to pull the permit. They haven't moved dirt yet. They haven't done anything yet. And they're taking a look at what the future holds. And I think that they're taking a look at these numbers. They understand while everybody's crying recession, everybody's crying market crash and so forth, they're preparing. They understand that the market is going to pick up and there's going to be a big, giant, influx of new buyers into the market.
Who doesn't want a new home? So that's why they're winning, and then they're putting good data and all those amazing attributes behind it. So I think that recession, if you are a homeowner that is negligent or is not a handyman, and you're afraid to hire people to do it, then you're going to be in it for a long haul. You're not going to be able to just throw it up on the market like you're able to do in 2020, get 30 offers. You're going to sit on the market for a while,
we're seeing it.
And you're not going to get the number that you want either.
All right, if you'd like some more information about what is happening in the market, where to put your money in, where are the opportune areas, go ahead and text the word YOUNG to 623-AZ-RECON. That's YOUNG to 623-AZ-RECON. Two groups of people I want to address today. One, either these Gen Zers, these younger buyers, or parents of them. Because the Gen Z are right now, and I can't keep up with all these names and these generations and X's and Z's and Y's and
pronouns,
pronouns and so forth. But there are currently 69 million Gen Zers with that range in the ages of 12 to 27 years old. Obviously, 12, 13, 14-year-olds are not entering the market. But that 69 million that could potentially enter the market in the next 10 years. As a matter of fact, they're predicting somewhere around 17 million people, 17 million Gen Zers entering the market in the next 10 years. So audience number one, Justin, and then Ryan, I'll definitely want you to add on to it, is moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas of Gen Zers. I know that they might be 15, 16, 18 years old. What are we saying to them about the opportunities and getting ready?
Well, I just want to touch base on the actual Gen Zers that are at that age of 21 to 27. I feel like the last 2 years, we've done quite a bit of pre-qualifications for these people, and payments are just not affordable for them, or the price that they're pre-qualifying for doesn't allow them to qualify for even a decent property in this market. And we've seen that just in the last 2 weeks, just have a huge swing. Maybe 3 weeks, we've seen a huge swing in what they're qualifying for, and the payments are becoming more affordable. I mean, we've seen a 1.5% drop in the interest rate in the past month and a half. So we've seen payments in the 2,000 range for a $400,000 house. Actually, we're closing on one today. That they have a $2,700 payment for a $400,000 house.
That's pretty darn good.
It's great. We haven't seen something like that in the past 2 years. It's been pretty devastating to this age group. And if you know somebody that was in the market a year ago or 2 years ago, they should re-enter the market and just do that research and see where things are at, because it's become more affordable. Now, when it comes to the parents and grandparents, we're having conversations with them. I mean, I didn't get the luxury of having my dad have a phone conversation with my first loan officer. But a lot of these younger adults, they're bringing their parents in, or even their grandparents. We've seen that, where we're having conversations about what things look like, and so that they can make a plan with their parents on maybe down payment, but also if this is something that is going to work for their finances. I'm seeing changes here where before, you just didn't get a good feeling over the phone. I'm probably not going to get a call back from these folks based on what this payment's looking like. Now parents and grandparents are like, okay, this seems reasonable. This seems doable. Maybe you get a roommate and you can make it through this. And I feel like the feeling out there on buying homes is going back to, this is a good decision. This makes sense. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Well, and Ryan, for you, I mean, talking about parents and grandparents, you're already doing this with your oldest daughter.
So and I'm happy to weigh in on that. But I think that the big message here, if you're a first-time home buyer, we as just people, consumers, are greedy by nature. Stop it. Look for the singles and the doubles. You're not going to hit a home run the first time you're walking out of college and with your first job, or if you're a young home buyer, first-time home buyer, look for that single or double. Look for, like what we're talking about over here, that $400,000 deal. And in this scenario, it's a brand new home. Yeah, they have to drive a little bit, but I mean, it's their first home and it's an affordable monthly payment. So they can handle it. They're not going to be poor. They're not going to just be working just to make their payment. They're still going to have some quality of life. So that's message number one. And as far as the folks out there with kids that are in that age bracket, I mean, the moment that my daughter turned 18, we brought her onto credit cards. We help onto our credit cards. We've been helping her establish credit and take on good debt, student loans, etc. She is not able to have access to those credit card funds, but she is simply benefiting from the fact that we are making consistent full payments every single month. So her so she has trade lines, and there's good history behind them, and those are being paid on time. And now we are in the process of using some of her subsidized loan overages to help her with a down payment on her first home. And the idea behind that will be that she's going to move into it and then rent out the other rooms to other students that she, either has classes with or maybe in the same field with. And so she'll be able to benefit from not only the home ownership, but some passive income off of there. It's not going to cover her entire monthly mortgage. That's not the expectation, because she's still going to have room and board no matter where she lives. May as well be into her own portfolio. Right. So she's only been preparing for this for 18 years, right?
Poor thing.
Yeah, poor girl was in a car seat rolling around town looking at homes and sitting at negotiation tables with me. And so it's time. And you maybe have not been able to provide that for your kids, but guess what? It's time. They're more resilient than you think. They learn more than you think. They probably know more than you think. And with the technology that's in their palm of their hands with those supercomputers we call cell phones, they're getting a lot of information. You know what? Some of that is bad information. Make sure that you are the pillar of that information for them and lead them in the right direction. I know that it's a little bit risky, but guess what? If they're 18, 19, there's not a damn thing they can't recover from.
They're taking risks already in other areas.
Right.
Right. So might as well risk something that's going to help you build wealth in real estate.
For sure.
All right. If you would like some more information on how to help your children or how to help your grandchildren get into their first home, or if you are a Gen Zer, chances are we probably got more Gen Zers listening to this podcast than we do their grandparents, right? Mm-hmm. But we'd love to have that conversation with you. All you got to do is text the word young to 623-AZ-RECON. That's young to 623-AZ-RECON. All right, so back to these numbers. 69 million Gen Zers currently in this country, between the ages of 12 to 27, expecting the next 10 years to add 17 million more buyers into the market. I think for people who are on the fence right now, or people right now looking to buy a home and get into the market, and if they understand the wealth building aspects of it, I think this is a huge opportunity. This needs to motivate people, because under our program, when you go buy your first home, you go buy your next home, we don't want you to sell it. We want you to turn this into an income-producing property. And we have a fantastic program where we can show you how you buy 6 homes in a period of 10 years using under $100,000 worth of cash, which is just astounding. Understanding the influx of buyers, because 69 million Gen Zers, 17 million home buyers into the market, that's a lot of people who aren't going to be buying a home. They're going to be looking for rentals. I think it's a perfect opportunity for people who are looking for a long-term investment strategy.
I want to touch on something that you said, Mike. You said under $100,000 in cash. And a lot of people might be thinking, how is my kid going to come up with this $100,000 in cash? Keep in mind, we're looking at leveraging your current properties in order to accumulate those funds for your next house. So don't think that's something that you're going to have to come out of pocket with
right away. It's
right away.
under $100,000 in the next 10 years.
Right.
With acquiring 6 properties. So you can do some math there.
And I just want to say, like, if I had this opportunity, I wish somebody would have led me to this when I was younger. I would have double the amount of properties that I have in my portfolio, if not more, because I'd be able to leverage even more at this point. So I feel like you would be doing somebody a favor by leading them to us.
I also think for our folks that are investors, these aren't just 17 million home buyers. These are people that are going to need housing. And so we are going to see an influx of tenants entering the market as well.
Yeah.
And so we've seen a little bit of volatility in the market whenever it comes to our rental properties. Rent rates went down a little bit over the past couple of years. They've started to even off. They're usually about 6 months behind the transaction market. So whenever the transaction market is going up, then usually 6 months later, you're going to start seeing rental rates going up and occupancy rates going up. So get ready for those numbers as well as you start going over your portfolio and figuring out what the next 5 years looks like. So that's something to definitely keep in mind, and also understanding that you're going to have a new target market. Your new target market is going to probably be a little bit younger. People are getting out of, they're fleeing the nest a little bit earlier these days, it seems to me. That would be some interesting data to do some research on.
All right, regardless, I guess, of however old you are and whoever the buyer is in the household, understanding the numbers and understanding the opportunities is as important as just making that decision to buy a house. Understanding what is going on in the market, understanding the influx of potential buyers should and could influence you to make a really savvy real estate decision today. But it does start by you reaching out to us by texting the word YOUNG to 623-AZ-RECON. That's YOUNG to 623-AZ-RECON.